All right, so everybody, this is Manny. Manny's been with us not a very long time at all, maybe a couple years now, maybe a year and a half. I don't know. It hasn't been very long.
Two and a
But Manny's
half.
done a year and a half, yeah. Manny's done an incredible job. I think his first year he issued over 300,000 right off the bat. He's easy to work with. He never complains about anything. If he has any problems, he always comes with solutions. He's just been a breath of fresh air in our agency. And he's somebody that I believe really has the fundamentals down better than anybody when it comes to IULs and how to incorporate that into your business and how to add to the production that you're already doing without getting distracted and doing it in a way where you could be really profitable at it. So this is Manny, everybody. Manny, say hi.
Hey guys, how you doing? Nice meeting you.
Nice. Let's see how many people we got on this thing. All right, there's only 104. This is like the lowest call from that. You guys need to get like 50 more people on this thing. My goodness. All right, so Manny, for those that don't know you, um, tell people a little bit about yourself and your background and how you got started with FFL.
Okay, so I'm from Colombia. I moved to the US in 2005 or 6. I went to school. I became a financial advisor in 2012, and I worked as a financial advisor for like 4 years. I really didn't like it. So I put my own business. I started doing pretty good. And then, it was growing, everything was good, but I was tired of the business. So one day I went online, I looked for some commission-based job, and I found um, other company. So I started working with them, and I only lasted like 5 6 months because I wasn't really making money. I was always the first one or the second one on their board, and I just didn't like it. I was doing the mortgage protection, the philosophy was not there for me because I'm always about getting things done. Like no excuses for me. Like I'm always trying to figure it out, and I'm researching, I'm watching videos, and that's how I saw trade. I went on YouTube, and I literally just he put his phone number, and I just texted him, and I just wrote like a huge text message, and he's like, "Just wait for me. I'm gonna fly. I'll call you once I land." And then we had the conversation, and he's like, "Just come over." And I'm like, "Okay, let's do it." So I didn't think about it because I knew what I was doing at the moment. It was not the correct thing. So it didn't really matter if I stayed there. Like I had to move. So that's what I did.
Nice. Well, I'm glad you did. Thank God.
I'm
Um,
happy too.
so tell us what caused you to focus on IULs right off the bat and give us a little bit of insight into that.
Okay, so when I was doing mortgage protection and the market was going a little bit down on the selling, so I was struggling a lot. So I moved to life insurance. I went to the final expense, and I really never thought about IULs because as a financial advisor, we had something against IULs. So it was a little bit difficult for me. So I had to like open my mind, research, talk to a lot of people that are selling IULs and showing me the ins and outs. And that's when I decided to just start doing IULs. I was already creating my own leads through Facebook, through Google, through like different sources. So I kind of had like all the pieces, but the product, I wasn't. I found the IUL, and that's when I started making real money.
I love it. So, what were some of the biggest challenges initially from, just starting out with it? What were some of the roadblocks? Did you make money right away? Did you fall on your face? Like, how did that go?
With the IULs,
Yeah,
yeah, the first month I issued 48,000 bucks. Like I was literally just issuing 13,000, and I went to 48,000. And then the next month I went to like 38,000, and then 15,000, and then I went to like 6,000, the thing was. So I was like, okay, what's going on? I have to like figure it out. It was the lead source. So I learned that one lead source is never enough. I have multiple because this is kind of like waves. So while I'm doing one lead source and it's keeping me up, the other one is probably keeping me down. So if I got multiple, there's always going to be ups and downs. So I diversify to where I get my leads. I'm always trying to get new sources. That way I'm diversified and I'm always getting some sort of results. But it is
good
it is
advice.
always the same. it is always the same. It's about learning to talk to clients. Like my approach is, like for example, I read this book. It's called High Probability Selling. So I'm not gonna try to sell to you if I don't see that you have what it takes to be part of an IUL. So my what I do all the time is just, what I do the most is get leads and just try to like talk to them right away, at least 10 minutes, and make sure I understand where they're coming from and where in the pipeline they are. Because sometimes some people are on awareness, other ones are ready to buy, and some other people are just warm. So I gotta get them hot. And that's kind of like how I do my things.
Kathy had a question. She said, "What are some of the bias that financial advisors have against IULs, and how'd you overcome that?
Well, we just
Like for
they just
yourself?"
plain they just plain hate the IULs and financial advisors. We don't. When I was there, we never talk about doing investments or growing the money through an IUL because it's not an investment and it was not created for that. So the biggest problem with financial advising is that you have to have multiple licenses, and anything that you post, anything that you do as an advertisement, or anything that you sell, it's highly regulated. You don't have any flexibility. You're not free when you're being a financial advisor. Most financial advisors, they're always going to ask you the same questions. They're going to put them in a computer or a system that filters out, and it's going to tell you what you're allowed to sell to these people. For example, if you are risk number 5, which is, let's say, the middle one, the middle ground, the system is gonna filter everything out and it's just gonna show you which ones are number 5. And then based on the questions, it shows you more options. So you're not really an advisor because everything is done by the lawyers and by everything else in the background.
Okay, that makes sense. Um, Sorry guys, my dog is nuts. Um, he never used to howl until I get on this call with Manny. How about that? That's crazy. All right, so Manny, as far as lead flow, how much are you spending a week on leads? And then what does your schedule look like? How many appointments are you trying to run? Is it a two-call close system? Are you doing like a discovery call that first 10 minutes and then you set up a Zoom to follow up with the people? Like, what does that look like?
I spend about $275 per day, so that's almost $10,000 a month. And I do 2 close, actually 3. I do the first one is just to make sure that the client wants, needs, and can afford what I have. So I make sure I ask the questions. Once I know that they want, need, and can afford what I have, I try to find out all the objections. Like, who do you make decisions with? With your wife, by yourself, or how do you make your decisions? When are you going to be ready to make, to start saving for retirement or for college funding? I try to find out or just get a big idea of where the client is in the process and how much they know about the IUL. Because if you have somebody that is in the beginning stages, it is very unlikely that this person is going to make a decision or it's going to get confused. So I have to be very careful in how I explain the IUL. So that's the first call that I have, which lasts approximately 10 minutes. Then I have the presentation. Once I find everything about them, then I'm ready to show my solution. And once they take over the solution, I wait until the application and everything is completely approved, and then we do a final call so we can deliver the policy, get them signed, get them through the application, and make sure that they can navigate and know where the money is, where is it allocated, how to make payment changes, and stuff like that.
Okay, that's cool. So when you set up the second call, are you trying to make sure the husband and wife are both there? Um,
Depends. I mean, the question I ask is like, hey, so how are you looking to move forward with this plan? Are you looking to do it by yourself? Are you looking to do it with your wife? Who makes the decision at the time that you're going to be opening your retirement strategy? And they'll tell you right away, oh, I'm just going to do it by myself. And most most females, at least I say 99%, they tell me, uh, does he has to know? Because I don't want him to know. So I help them, so that allows me to just not have to get that objection. I'm like, I gotta talk to my husband or anything like that. Like I'm trying to get as many objections to be invalidated up the front.
Got it. Okay. Um, and then let's see. How do you deal with no shows and reschedules with telesales, even if they are super interested? It always seems like they procrastinate on these things. Just wondered if you had any insight on that. That's a good question.
Well, I mean, there's always gonna be like a good amount of people that are not gonna show up.
Mhm.
I do make sure that so every single morning, that's the first thing I do. I get all my leads, the hot ones, which are the appointments, and I call them, I text them. Even when they don't answer, like 2 hours earlier, I send a picture saying your IUL appointment has been canceled for not confirming. So if you want to reschedule or you still want to go ahead with the call, go ahead and just let me know. And some of them, they do tell you something like, no, don't cancel it, don't cancel it. And the ones that don't say anything, they filter themselves out. So it does help me out. I also have the automations, which I put them in no show, and then they start getting text messages. And I send a picture of Kevin Hart, like going like, "Hey, do you miss your? I mean, what happened? Like I try to I try to send as many funny things as I can or messages. I send emails. I get my dialers to like call them and just we call them for a whole month,
Yeah.
nine like about 18 times per day. Yeah.
Good job. That's perfect. So now that's interesting what you said because I know what you're talking about. Like you'll go to confirm and then people don't respond and they're getting those. So like 2 hours before, you just tell them it was canceled because they didn't respond. And
Yeah.
then I can imagine a lot of people go, no, 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 wait, I'm gonna be there. Dude, that's great.
And
That's a great nugget. We should all do that. That's a really good idea.
yeah,
Um,
sometimes they're not gonna say anything, but some people do, and that's the ones that you want, the ones that filter themselves into your process.
I love that. Well, good job. Okay. Um, now as far as like the actual presentation for the IUL, how do you figure out like who's max funding the IUL, who's buying it just for death benefit? Do you ever sell any of the simplified issue ones, or is it just always NLG and FNG? Does it take a long time to get paid? Like, talk about all that stuff.
Well, I do NLG, and I never do. I mean, I always do full underwritten because I want to make sure they get the lowest price on the insurance. So that's what I always do, fully underwritten. It does. I mean, it doesn't always have to be about the money. Like I can be riding with FNG and I can get a 20% higher compensation, but what I want is a balance between the money and also how they take care of my clients. With NLG, they have an application, they have an app on their cell phone, so it's easy for them to, follow everything up. Sometimes they don't trust you and they just don't want to do it, so that's why I do it with NLG. It does take a week after they pay the policy, so I can get paid. So my goal is to always build a pipeline. If I can be issuing 2, 3 policies per week, I can easily be making 5 to 10,000 in commissions per week, and that's my goal. Like my goal is to sell 10,000 a week, and I mean, I don't look at my schedule. Like I can be working every single day from 8 in the morning, and I triple dial all my leads. I get sets of 25. I triple dial them. I triple dial them again, and I triple dial that same list, and then I go into the next one. That way, I make sure I hit in the morning at least 9 times each lead, and sometimes I hit them about 18 times per day. And when at least one lead curses me out, I'm like, okay, I hit the spot. That's where I need to be, and
Yeah.
that's how much I keep calling them. And that filters a lot of people out right away so I can get the nuggets. That's what I want. I want the yeses. And yeah, I mean, once I sell the policy, sometimes some clients tell me, "Hey, I want to start on January 1st." So I start people in January 1st. And then on the 25th, on the 20th, on the 15th. So my goal is every 5 days I get paid. And that's kind of like how I try to organize my pipeline so I can have consistent business.
I love that. That sounds really good. Are you coming across or creating a lot of annuity opportunities through your IUL appointments? That's a good question.
I suck. I suck selling annuities. I used to sell annuities in 2012, 13, but I forgot about it. I tried multiple times. So what I always do is that I call Elkie, and she helped me close this year a $600,000 one. So that was great.
Yes.
But yeah,
So,
I'm pretty bad at it. So once I get better at my lead flow and getting more consistent business like I want, I'm gonna start expanding on the annuities.
well, and to break that down for those listening, so he just used ask an expert. That's what y'all should all do. If you feel like you suck at annuities, don't waste the opportunity. Just get somebody that's good at it and do a split on the sales. Because 100% of nothing is nothing. But I'd rather get 50% of something and then learn how to do it really well and not have to. One of the things that always slowed me down in the business that it didn't always slow me down, but I kept I kept running into the same obstacle where I was dragging things along with me that never got completed and I felt bogged down. So one of the things I learned to do early on was when I found annuity opportunities, I would give them to Andrew and I'd take a small split and he'd close them. And then he'd teach me what to do. And that's how I learned how to do annuities. That's how I got good at it. And I made money along the way. So all of y'all should do that. That is a great example of what it looks like. Um, let's see. I have some more questions here. I'm gonna put them all in that text string for you, Manny. You're doing great, by the way. Where are you at right now?
Colombia.
Nice. What's it like in Colombia?
It's good. I love it. It's home. This is where I'm from. I was born here. I was raised. So I kind of get back to see my family all over again. Get to know the city because I was very young when I moved to the States. I kept the accent. That's all I did. But then, I came back. And yeah, the plan is to go back to the US next year.
I love that. So, advice for new agents, Manny, like if you're brand new and you're just getting started, like what's the best three tips you can give someone?
Oh, the first one is just consistency. This game is about consistency. I thought I was pretty good at a lot of things, and I was pretty bad actually. So like this is a game about you finding the nuggets. So you have to be very consistent, getting a lot of no's, just asking the right questions. Like one of my biggest recommendations for any agent is just make sure that you build like a kind of like a script and make sure you stick to the questions. Don't let leads like try to like take you away from control of the conversation. You have to ask tough questions. How much do you make? Why are you doing this? Do you want to do this for retirement? How old are you? Oh, you're 50. So why haven't you done a retirement plan? Like what is going to change this time that you want to do business, about retirement? Like you gotta ask the questions. You gotta put them in a position where they think about things in a different perspective, where they questions themselves. So the first thing is gonna be ask tough questions. The second one is just get the reps. Just call them. Don't be afraid. Like I literally call them 9 times in the morning, 9 times at night. That's 18 times per day. And if they don't want to answer and they hang up on me, I call them again. I trust to space it out a little bit, but like people, they're not always in the best situation to take your call. Sometimes they lie, and that's fine. But you just keep doing your job. Like if you get 15 appointments per day, I guarantee you're gonna sell at least one policy. That policy can be a 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, $6,000 commission. You get two, three per week, and you're over 10,000.
And I want to point out too, a lot of Manny's lead generation, he runs his own ads. So think about how much he's dialing when he was running his own ads. There's no confusion. They filled it out. He ran the ad. like hopefully y'all get that. A lot of people, Manny, go, oh, it's the leads. The leads are bad. These people must be ripping me off. The leads aren't good because people don't answer. You're running the ad. You're calling those ones, and you got to call them that much. Um, wow, that's fascinating. But that's Jamie Euphemia calls that the FFL way. 3 times, triple dial, 3 times a day. And some people get mad, but the people that are interested, they don't get mad, right? They're interested.
One
They're
thing
never
got
gonna
in the
get mad.
freezer at it.
Oh, hold on.
There's only
All right. Sorry about that.
No problem. But yeah, they gotta get mad. So some of them they do get mad, and I just kind of laugh, and I tell them, hey, look, if you tell me no, I don't have to call you again. I did my job. Just be honest, so I don't have to call you. I don't want to call you.
All right. So let's role play it. So let's role play the discovery call, and then we'll do the IUL appointment. Like we could do that 15 minutes. We at least give people an idea what it looks like. So
That's
I'm
it.
uh I'm 40 years old, and I filled out a lead, and I was interested in tax-free retirement.
Okay. So hey Trey, this is Manny. Calling you back because you went onto my website and you requested information about the IULs. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Perfect. Trey, I just want to take 2 minutes away from you just to ask you some questions and make sure I can help you out. What prompted you to fill out this application? What are you trying to do? Are you trying to do like a retirement plan? Do you want to save for college for your children? Do you want to do like a flexible savings plan? Like, I mean, what are you looking to do that you fill this out?
Well, I was on TikTok, and I keep seeing these videos about being your own bank and tax-free retirement, and I thought that was really interesting because I have a
Okay.
401k, but I don't have a tax-free retirement.
Okay, perfect. So how long have you been looking, how long have you been researching about these banking or the IULs?
It's been probably a month now. I keep seeing this, and I've read a little bit. I asked ChatGPT some stuff, and
Okay, so what is it that you saw about this strategy that actually, that what is it that you saw online that, caught your attention?
um, just about how taxes are going to go up in the future, and my 401k is going to get taxed probably more in 20 years than it is right now
Okay.
because taxes are going up, and um, it might be tax deferred right now, but eventually I'm going to have to pay on all that. And uh, if I'm taking income from it, I just really don't know how it works. I just got questions.
Okay, so you want to save in taxes, pretty much what you're telling me.
Yes,
And how do you feel
when
about
I
paying
retire,
more? Okay. How do you feel about paying more taxes in the future?
I don't like it.
You don't like it? Okay, perfect. And by the way, this plan that you're looking to do for saving on taxes and retirement, is this a plan that you want to do by yourself, with your spouse? How are you looking to make this decision, or how do you make the decision at the moment that you pick one of these plans?
I can make the decision. I don't have to involve anybody else.
Okay, perfect. And are you able to sell between $500 to $1,000 a month at least? Since these plans, that's the minimum requirement.
Oh, you mean I got to put $500 to $1,000 a month into it?
In order to get a plan like this one, you have to be able to save at least $500. Is this possible for you or not?
Yes, I could do that.
Yes. Okay, perfect.
I could do
Okay, so
700
700. Okay, perfect. So I
if it
do have
makes
to ask you.
sense.
Okay, of course, if it makes sense. So here's how I do things. Like the first thing I'm gonna do is just ask you some questions to make sure that this is the perfect fit. If it's not, I'm gonna tell you right away. My idea is not to sell; it's just to be an advisor and make sure that uh, you get the outcome that you're looking for. So I'm gonna ask you some questions to make sure you can qualify for this. Okay?
Okay.
So I need to know: have you ever had cancer, diabetes, any heart issues, any major like surgeries in the last 5 years? Any organs, like problems with any organs? No. Have you had any
Nope.
DUIs, felonies in the last 5, 10 years?
Nope.
Oh,
Nope.
perfect. And if this is the correct plan for you, how soon are you looking to start? This month, next month, 3 months in the future, 6 months?
Um, Yeah, this month. I mean, it's the 1st of December, so I could do it this month. Yeah.
This month? Okay, perfect. Okay, Trey, so here's how I do things. So with the information that you just gave me, which I forgot to ask for the age, you said
I'm
46,
40
right?
years old.
40, okay.
I'm,
So
I'm
with
six
all this,
foot four and 190 pounds. I don't even know if
perfect.
that's good.
So
I think that's just kidding. I don't know.
with the information that you just gave me, I'm gonna go ahead and create a plan. The idea is for you and I to sit down in a video call so you can see me. I can show you my licenses. I can show you the companies that I work with. I can show you how this plan works and it can fit into your plan. It's going to take about 20 to 30 minutes. Do you have that time for later today or do you have it right now so we can continue?
I could do later today, like 4 o'clock.
4 o'clock? Okay,
Yep.
so yep, 4 o'clock is perfect. So I'm gonna go ahead and send you some text messages to remind you about the appointment. But do you think that there's anything that can get in the way for this appointment for this hour to not work for you?
No, no, I think it's perfect.
Okay, perfect. So you're gonna get a text message in case you need to change. Please, I cannot leave this spot open. Just go ahead and send me a text message, and I'll move the appointment. Okay.
Okay, sounds good.
Perfect. So that's pretty much how I do it. Like I'm just trying to find out where the client is. Does he have the money? Does he have the health? Does he have the intention to start? Like you, for example, told me that you're pretty much ready to do business if this is the correct thing.
Right.
So what I want to know is that if this is something that you need, that you want, and you can afford it. Those are the first three things I'm looking for. And I'm also trying to find out how you are willing to do business with me.
Hmm.
So
That's
if
good.
you're
Do a lot of people say, "Well, I'm not ready right now. I'll be ready in 3 months," or and what do you do when they do that?
I move them into my in my nurturing flow. So I send emails, I send text messages, I put them like calling them 3 months in advance. That's
Hmm.
how I do it. I don't want. I mean, there's a lot of people that are just in the awareness. They're not ready to take action, and they're just not gonna take it. Like I already tried multiple times. If somebody tells me that they need to speak to the wife, and I come across and I give them all the information and they're by themselves, and they still don't make a decision because they told me that they needed the wife. It's kind of like sending
Hmm.
an email with the information. Like if they tell me, hey, just send me the email with the information, I say, I'm sorry, I just don't work like that. Like you have to come. Like this is kind of like when you talk to an architect to do the drawings for you for a building. You know, like you just cannot send just the information. You have to sit down. We gotta talk about the strategy, the plan, and then we can draw it. So I try
Got it.
to always bring people into into the call because I mean, it is very unlikely to not get the yes at the end when they do it in a position that they can say, I don't want to do it,
Yeah,
and I don't want to charge back.
I love that. Well, that's a good idea. And you have great persistency, by the way. I was looking at that. You have incredible persistency. Um, Here's the question though: when you get them on the next call, are you going through the illustration with them? Are you what does that look like? What do you do before you get to the illustration? Exactly.
So when I get them into the appointment, I share screen, and the first thing I do is that I go through my presentation. So I tell the clients, look, this is a strategy based approach. And we talk about three different things. We talk about taxes, we talk about growing your money and protecting your money, and we talk about the insurance part of the of the IUL. So I ask them, what do you think is going to happen with taxes? Are they going to go up or are they going to go down? And then I
They're
show
gonna
them
go up.
three buckets. Right. So once I get that, I ask them, hey, why do you think that taxes are going up? And they give me their answer. Then what I do is that I show them the national debt clock, where it shows the amount of debt that US has at the moment, and that is increasing by $1 million every 54 seconds. I tell them that the US spends more than brings in taxes. I show them about the Social Security and how they have pushed from 62, 63, 67, the age of retirement, and how these things are prompting the US government in the future to have to raise taxes. And then I show them like a slide that shows taxes from 1913, since the IRS was created, until today. And it shows that between the 1933 to 1983, which is a 50 years gap, the US used to take 60 to 70% of citizens' income. So I asked them, if they want to be in that position where if the government changes the rate, they're going to get taxed more. So I showed them three buckets. I showed them how you pay taxes every single year on traditional investments. I showed them how deferring the taxes can be a big mistake because you're just kind of like pushing the debt into the future, kind of like when you use a credit card. It's kind of like paying debt with interest. Or they just want to pay now with every paycheck, put the money into the IUL, and from there on it grows tax free. So it does kind of like it shows them the three different buckets, which I can always share them, and they always pick the tax free bucket. So I made them draw us a triangle, and they say, okay, I don't want to pay taxes. So with an IUL, my money grows tax free. Then I go into the second part of the triangle, which is growing your money. I tell them the difference between investments and index strategy. I let them know that it's kind of like buying, like having two cars. One is insured and the other is not insured. So I showed them the graph, how it collapsed in 2008 with the Twin Towers, and all the different times where the market has collapsed about 40 to 30%, and how it takes for them about 5 years to just recover from those losses. And I let them know the people that have an IUL, they actually cheer when the market goes down because the lower they go, it's better for them next year. If the market collapses, let's say at 40%, next year your IUL starts at the same point because this is kind of like playing baseball. Once you get to base, you're secure. So you don't lose any money. And then you start right there. So if we look at the graph from 2003 to 2008, it it went up 67% in about 6 years. So people that had $1 million before in investments before the Twin Towers, now in 2003 they had 600,000. So they lost 400,000. But if you had an IUL by 2008, you would have $1.67 million, while the people on investments only had $1 million. They just got back what they lost. So it shows them how to freeze their money at the moment that everybody's losing. So I show them the two investments and I let them know what style do you want to be in. Do you want the red one? Do you want the green one, which is the index strategy? And they normally pick the index. So I let them pick which avenue they want to take. I don't let them. I don't tell them like, look, this is better because of this. No, where do you want to be? You want to pay taxes or not pay taxes? You want to take in risk or not risk? And then instead of just calling it like just plain life insurance, I let them know that one of the features that this plan has is that the plan that you create it auto completes in case you get sick or injured. So I show pictures of different people that have gotten paid by National Life Group. So, for example, I had a guy. This was like 3 months ago. He fell asleep in the wheel, crashed against a tree. He cannot even brush his teeth anymore, and he's getting $900,000. So I let people know that if they saving for their retirement and anything happens, that's how can they auto complete the retirement plan. So they get the money for retirement just because life play hard on them.
Got it. That makes sense to me.
My guarantees are tax free, risk free, and it's a plan that is 100% insured. And I explained them about, it's insurance, life insurance, but it's flexible, it is index based, and I kind of like break down what IUL means. I means index, so I bring them back to to the index and the investment risk. And then for you, I tell them that it's universal for flexible payments. And then I show them L for life, which you can use the money in life or in death or in sickness. So I tell them that it's kind of like a combo. They don't just go buying the French fries, the Coke, and I mean they get they get the whole thing instead of buying the ingredients and just trying to figure it out.
That's a good analogy. Um, okay. Well, dude, that makes a lot of sense. Um, anything else you want to share before we get off the call?
Yeah, I mean, once I just go into the whole, once I get the buy-in, I show them the illustrations. I normally do A and B. I do either one. I really don't mind either one. It just depends on the client. For example, last week I had a client that was putting $400 a month. We put him in an A because he put 14,000 immediately into the account, so he maxed it out completely. So that guy, he's going to be putting 14,000, $15,000 a year, so it makes sense for him to have an A. When it's somebody that let's say that it's somebody very young and they only have $300 a month, I put in B right away. It does lower my commission, but just it's about selling, keep selling, just keep helping people. I don't have a schedule, to be honest. Like I work from 8 to 1 p.m. and then I start studying because I read a lot of books. Like I try to like always get pretty good at my game. So I try to like, you know, learn how to uh, learn how to do leads, learn how to sell, learn how to sell online. So when they come to me, they're already pretty warm. So I do like different approaches, but the the three most important parts are get the leads. My rule is my leads come before my mortgage. I have been late in my mortgage in the past, but I always bought the leads first.
Yep.
Like I went down many times and I said I'm buying the leads first, and then the leads pay for my mortgage and pay for everything else. So you have to fall in love with the business. If you don't fall in love with this business and you're just not willing to do what it takes, it's gonna drive you insane. Like I love what I do. Sometimes I get gray hair out of it, but I love it and I just keep doing better and better. And I can tell you that the first year at FFL, it was just for 6 months, and I think I submitted like 132,000. And then this year, I went to convention, which was my first full year at FFL, and I don't know, I got called out, and they gave me this, which I always keep it with me. For I think I
Nice.
sold over 300,000, and I think I mean I hope to hit the Hall of Fame this year. I'm
You're
very
gonna hit
close.
it. You're gonna hit
Mhm.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
You got like 50,000, but you got a lot in the pipeline, and
Hmm.
we're only showing through week 3 of November. So you got it. And you're working like crazy.
So yeah,
So
yeah.
all right. Well, yeah, that was awesome, Manny. Thank you so much for jumping on. And if you guys
You're
got a
welcome.
lot out of this, put a 1 in the chat. Tell Manny thanks. Boom. Good job, y'all. And we'll definitely do a round 2. This was good. And good luck on Hall of Fame. We know you're gonna hit it. And if you need anything from me, let me know. And you guys make it a great week. Get on Zoom tomorrow, dial with the team. Get on Zoom tonight, dial with the team. Keep going. December is the best month of the year. December could be the best month of the year, or it could be the worst month of the year. People that stop working on the 5th or the 12th are going to suffer. But if you just take Christmas off and you actually work through December, it'll set you up in a way that you can't even imagine. You'll go into January with a ton of momentum, and it's really a tale of 2 Christmases. I've been in the business now 11 years, 12 years, and I can tell you the times where I slacked off, and I can tell you the times where I just pushed right through. And the biggest momentum I ever had in the business is when I just treated December like any other month, and I took off Christmas and I worked that week between Christmas and New Year's, and I went into the new year with a ton of momentum going into convention. So you guys make it a great week. Thanks for jumping on. Register for convention. Get everybody there. It's the best decision you can make. And thanks for jumping on this. You guys make it a great week.
Okay.